Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? And I'm back again with another discourse. And this discourse, you guys are going to truly relate, connect, and resonate with it, I hope. So, welcome to all the new subscribers. And for those of you who have stayed with me from the start, today we are going to talk about the 0 point state. And if you guys have any idea on what state I'm going to talk about, you probably all have kind of an idea of what the 0 point state is about. So the 0 point state is that pre-union state. So after all the sacred anguish and sacred anger and sacred rage, there'll come another point, which is the 0 point. So that's why today's discourse, we are actually going to talk about the 0 point, which is energetic neutrality, soul alignment, and the true preparation for sacred union. So, what is the 0 point? So, the 0 point, you can call it the state of nothingness, you can call it, actually, you can call it the state of neutrality. It's like the neutron. And remember, the 0 point, like I said, I want to be very clear, it's not an emotion or a feeling. It's not calmness, it's not numbness, it's not detachment or waiting. It is a state. It's a state of like pure energetic coherence where all the chasing, resisting, projecting, gripping have collapsed into stillness without strategy. So the field becomes so pure, so present, so vibrationally aligned that the desire for union no longer comes from lack, but from remembrance. And this is very important because the truth is, there's so many men out there. But why? Why our divine masculine? It's because being a monadic twin flame is something of history. It's not something that just happens to you. It is how it is, right? One soul split into two in the 13th dimension, born in the cosmic egg with the third energy. But because we're so embroiled in the 3D world, you may often feel like you're coming from a place of like, he's saying he's not interested in me. He's saying he doesn't like me. He's saying he's making it very awkward. And have you ever noticed, like whenever our divine masculine tends to say something that is very awkward or uncomfortable, it really hurts your nervous system and the parts of your body is usually the heart and the tummy. It's like somehow this is coming, and somehow it is from the state of chasing. And this is why I'm saying lack. He's not going to be with me. We will never be together. We are never meant to be in union. As twin flames, we're always meant to be in union. So what? It's Earth. So what? It's 3D. So that's the reason why that shifting in thinking has to move. And that's why union cannot come from a place of lack, but it has to come from remembrance. And remember, this 0 point is not only neutrality from exhaustion. It's neutrality from mastery. As the divine feminine, once we reach the 0 point, when we stop trying to be lovable and simply remember we are the field, this is exactly when our beloved divine masculine, this is when he reaches the 0 point, when he stops fighting what he feels and lets himself be returned to the frequency of love. Oops. So if you guys are following me here, you're probably thinking like, what is this all about, So there's so many discussions on it, the state of neutrality, the state of this, the state. But in order to not achieve, again, wrong word to use, in order to be in this state, you have to experience the other states too. The sacred loathing, the sacred disliking, the sacred disgust, the sacred everything. And then you naturally get to this point. And you may ask, why does the 0 point come before union? So in every monadic twin flame journey, there is a sacred recalibration period where you're no longer spiraling in longing. At the same time, you're not in full physical union as well. So this is like the in-between state. It is here that the soul invites you to go through a purification state of attachment, and the collapsing of any kind of karmic residue, and to return to a state of non-conditional resonance. So most of us divine feminines misinterpret this stage as numbness, failure, or regression, but in truth, again, from my own personal experience and from all of the clients I've helped in all these years, this is the void. This is the void room, where ego dissolves, identity contracts, and your field begins vibrating from cosmic consciousness and not from hurt or pain or wounding. And this is the true pre-union stage where your system no longer codes love as urgency, where you're no longer like, oh no, time is going, how much more time do I have left with my DM? Oh no, how am I going to have a child with my DM? Oh no, how am I going to have this? How am I going to do this project with my DM? How am I going to, travel and see all parts of the world with my DM? Time is ticking. And it's very valid, that sense of urgency is very, very valid, especially us being divine feminines. It's like coded in our conditionings, right? That sense of urgency. And that's why the 3D world has got, you go to school for this amount of years, then you have to find a partner, whether you like him or not, you need to get married, and the cycle continues. But as twin flame journeys are very rare, and monadic twin flame journeys are rarest of the rarest, you start to think in terms of timelessness, no more about urgency anymore. It's about timelessness. So that's what I mean. The true pre-union stage is where your system no longer thinks of love in the language of urgency. The need to be seen also gets dissolved. And peace, and I'm talking about peace, not indifference here. Here, peace equates to presence. So I want to talk a bit about some of the signs. And if you guys, are going through this stage, do comment. So some of the signs you are entering the 0 point field. You no longer try to align for union. You simply are. And that's why I always say the state of being. There is how do I put it? There is a grounded knowing that your soul already holds the codes and nothing needs to be performed. So you feel no emotional panic about time, silence, or the unknown. You stop searching for signs, not because you've given up, but because your inner compass is on. And then you sense your divine masculine, but you don't crave him. So this is the state where I was talking about, where you get visits when you're really tired during the theta states. Because you can have your divine masculine in your field, but you don't grip to it. It just flows through you like wind, not like oxygen you need to survive. It's more of like the state of flow. And you begin receiving union timelines without obsession. visions. Visions come in, dreams come in, downloads may come in or may not come in. But you see, at this point, the visions, dreams, downloads, they may come, but they land very gently, not frantically. And you also start to understand union is not a reward, it is a return. So it's a sense of it is who you are. As twin flames, we are meant to be together. So you see, that's what the not so good energies have been trying to do, from the depictions of Romeo and Juliet to all the star-crossed lovers who could never get together. But that is conditioning. As twin flames, we are always one in two bodies. We are always meant to get into union. Even whether we like it or not, that is the wisdom. That's why there is no more earning when you're in this state of neutrality. There's just readiness. So your question may be, how 0 point activates the masculine? So here is the paradox, all right? When you finally stop holding the field for union, you start holding the field as union. So hear me very clearly here. When you finally stop holding on to, I want to be in union, I want to be in union, I really need to be with my divine masculine, I can't live. It's like, oh no, I can't take it anymore. And then you go into the state of presence, neutrality. This is when you start holding the field as union. And this is exactly when our divine masculine, whether consciously or unconsciously, begins experiencing field disruption. So at the 0 point, our energy no longer leaks or tethers. Our third energy becomes a coherent monadic beam. Our absence becomes vibrationally louder than our presence ever was. So all the chasing, all the attention, all the being there, the absence screams louder than everything else. Truly. And this is when our beloved divine masculine begins to feel discomfort in his life. Be the business venture he's trying to chase, if he's in category 1, be the karmic detourer, if he's in category 2, even if he's a silent monk trying to search for spirituality, there will be discomfort. And there will be unexplained emotion surfacing. This is when the dreams become vivid. The S-word pulses increases, and there are immense memory triggers. And that's when the call home, not from the voice, not from your voice, but from the frequency. So remember, this is not manipulation. This is field law. As the feminine, when we stabilize in the 0 point, it changes the shared template. That's why 0 point equates to detachment. It is divine presence. So let me be very, very clear here. All right. So this is how detachment works. So detachment would say, I don't care anymore. 0 point says, I remember who I am. So 0 point isn't cold. It isn't emotionally avoidant either. It is actually the most loving thing you can embody, because the 0 point says, I'm no longer vibrating from ache or pain or misery. I'm vibrating from soul. And from here, sacred union begins to land, not through chase. So that's why, see, it's very important that you must not rush this state. Very important, because many skip the 0 point by jumping into a lot of other things, karmic distractions, trying to manifest union. See, manifestation, a double-edged sword. It doesn't quite work in the twin flame journey because sometimes you see, manifestation is about alignment, but when you're obsessively thinking about your DM, you don't really get to the state of alignment because the twin flame journey in itself is very tricky. So that's why you must not rush to this state by jumping the wagon, going here, going there. But remember, without the 0 point, you carry attachment residue. Your nervous system isn't union ready. So this brings up, like, sometimes you keep saying you want union, you want union, you want union. And when you actually get into union, the question is, are you even ready? Because you're so conditioned to believe that you're not going to get into union. So are you really in union? So the 0 point state is very, very important for our nervous system, our physical body as well. This is when you magnetize chaos in state of coherence. So what is actually going on? Instead of manifestation, you're going into magnetizing. Your divine masculine is drawn to you through your magnetism, not law of attraction. So the 0 point is actually our sacred threshold, our final soul calibration, our proof to the cosmos. I am not waiting for union and I have become the field it must return to. So this is literally how you need to look at it. And when you embody this, union becomes inevitable. So that's why you got to release the story, you got to release the proof, you got to release the ache and return to the origin point of your soul design. And from here, you are the union. You're not the seeker anymore. So that's the reason why, this is a very, very important question for you to ask. What if the key to our twin flame union isn't about finding our divine masculine or being with our divine masculine, but it's about finding complete peace within ourselves first. So that's why you have to imagine a state of energetic neutrality so profound, it silently shifts your entire timeline. And this is what this video has been talking about, the 0 point, and you're probably tired of the emotional chaos on your twin flame path. So discovering this state is going to bring you radical peace, stability, and soul alignment, even before union happens. That's why this video is grounded in wisdom. It offers real insight, hopefully. I hope to inspire, to shift from heartbreak and confusion into serene anticipation. So everything that you've been told about preparing for union, let it go. This journey isn't about manifesting or chasing or forcing or trying to do things that's not in alignment. It's about mastering the most overlooked state, which is neutrality. And that's why, remember, the 0 point is not emptiness. It's a full spectrum of soul coherence. And this is exactly what we have been talking about. And I hope you guys feel that this video helps you to get to this stage. Because once you reach this stage, you'll realize the 0 point is not a waiting room. It's actually a quantum, let's put it this way, activation chamber. This is where your nervous system recalibrates to union frequency. This is where the final soul tethering occurs, not through effort, but through energetic integrity. And when you stabilize here, you're no longer trying to get your twin flame. You are the resonance that your divine masculine cannot help but return to. So that's why, it's so important for you to, again, I don't want to say experience this state, right? I want to say that once you get into a sense of being. And once you get into a sense of the present, you'll realize the 0 point is not about giving up. It's actually about giving in to the sacred remembrance of who you really are. So remember, you are not chasing love. You are love. And when that becomes your vibration, union becomes inevitable. Not because you begged for it, not because you became the field it had to return to, because you become the field. And if this teaching resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And leave a comment below and let me know. Have you felt the 0 point? Are you there right now? And of course, if you want to go deeper in your journey, you can book a one-on-one session with me. And the link is in the description. So until next time, stay clear, stay grounded, and trust your field. You've already come this far, further than you would know, and you're so close. All right. So remember, the 0 point state is the pre-union stage. With that, I hope you have enjoyed this video. And again, thank you all to the new subscribers. Thank you all to those who have been very active in this channel lately, commenting, sharing your views, being so kind. Thank you all for your compliments. And with that, I'll see you all again in the next video. Bye-bye.